Later in this video, I say Rick Pitino. It's actually his son that coaches Minnesota, not him. But yeah, you get the point. Anyways, they're doing it all for ratings. You get my point. Welcome to the 2019 NCAA Bracket Challenge thing. So, as many of you have requested, I'll be making a bracket. The odds of me failing miserably are 100% because no one ever gets this right. So here we go. I'm going to start off so you can see the bracket. I don't know if you can read it. I've tried so many camera angles for about an hour now that it's been rough. So here we go. First one, Duke versus playing games. Do we want to do that? Sure, why not? We'll pick random. Pen, turn on. Aye. Top. All right, we picked the top ones. Okay. Not very accurate, but it's fine. I don't think any of them will move on anyways. Duke, that's an easy pick. Unless, stuff happens. Do we go with the football national champions or VCU? VCU. Liberty. I've heard a lot of good things about this team, actually. I've heard that they're a very well-rounded team. They have They have a really good record. I'm going to go with it. Go for the upset. Liberty. 5-12 is a common upset. We'll go with Liberty. You also get to see my horrendous handwriting in this, but, you're going to have to survive it. Virginia Tech, St. Louis. I've heard good things about St. Louis, but going to go with Virginia Tech in that one. Maryland, as I said, I don't have any of those guys winning, so Crabs. LSU versus Yale. Sorry, Yale. You're going to have to Yale your way home. LSU, that's an ugly L. Sorry. The camera's shaking, I'm sorry. It's the best camera angle I could find without doing a lot. It was difficult. All right, here we go. Here's the matchup I've been wanting to talk about a little bit. Rick Pitino versus his former team. You know they made this matchup for the ratings. This is pure ratings right here. RATINGS. Rick Pitino versus his former team. They did that for the ratings, and you know it, all right? We're going to go with Rick Pitino in this one. Men. Yeah, he's going to get a little revenge. Michigan State versus Bradley. 2-15 upset. This has actually happened a lot recently. It's only happened like 6 times in history, and 3 of those have been in the last 8 years. 2012, 2013, and 2016. I guess that's 7 years, but whatever. You get my point. And at the rate we're going, we're going to have one every 3 years. But, no one's ever going to pick that. And I'm not going to be the guy to pick that. So, Michigan State. All right. Gonzaga. That's easy. Gonzaga. So, no 116 right now. Syracuse, Baylor. Syracuse beat Duke in Duke. Baylor, don't get me wrong, they're solid, but I got the Cuse in this one. Marquette versus Murray State. This is an interesting one. I've heard really good things about Murray State. They have that one guy who's supposed to be a lottery pick. Then you got Marquette. Let's go with... I already picked 5-12, so... Marquette. I wouldn't be surprised if Murray State won, though. Florida State. That's an easy one. Buffalo. Texas Tech. Florida in an upset. They played really well in the SEC tournament. I'm going to go with them. They're hot right now. And then Michigan. Michigan moving on. All right. Moving on to the other side of the bracket. The South over here. Midwest. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Virginia is a 1 seed again. If they lose again as a 1 seed, they need to be banished from the tournament. Even if they win their conference, they're not allowed in. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt this year. UVA. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. I like Mississippi. I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma won this year, though. Oregon's been playing some really good basketball recently, won their conference tournament. I like Oregon in the 5-12 upset. We'll talk about them more later. Kansas State in a nail-biter. So yeah, Kansas State. There we go. I keep on looking at this camera to make sure it doesn't look too bad. Villanova St. Mary's. This is an intriguing matchup. You got the defending champs of Villanova right here. Then you got St. Mary's, the conference champs. They beat off Gonzaga. Gonna go with the upset. Defending champs get knocked out first round. Gonna go with SMU. Well, they're not the real SMU, but you know. St. Mary's. Purdue, Old Dominion. Texas beat Purdue. Purdue should be able to beat Old Dominion. Cincinnati, Iowa. We'll go with Cincy. Tennessee, Colgate. Yeah. I don't need to say much there. North Carolina, Texas beat them too. Utah State, Washington. Washington is like 26-8 or something. I don't know what their record is, but it's good, and they're 9 seeds. So, yeah, for a Pac-12 team. Auburn's been playing really good recently. I don't see that 5-12 happening. So, Auburn. I'm writing sideways here because, like, I got the camera here, my arms here. I'm sitting over here. It's a very awkward angle. But yeah, Kansas. That's an easy one. Texas beat them too. Iowa State. Texas beat them. I'm going to be doing this the whole video because I'm a Texas fan. Texas did not deserve to be in the tournament. I'm not trying to make a point. They did not deserve to be in the tournament. Houston, that's an easy one. Wofford, I've seen them play. They have one guy like Fletcher McGee or something. He is a very good basketball player. He can score the ball very well. Very good three-point shooter. Wofford, I think they just edge out Seton Hall. And then Kentucky, that's an easy one. So there we go. There's your round of 32. Sorry about the bad handwriting. Kent. All right. So on to the round of 32. We got Duke up here playing VCU. So how will this go? I see Duke. All right. Liberty, Virginia Tech. Give me Virginia Tech. Crabs versus LSU. Give me LSU. Hey, look, that's a better L. Minnesota, Michigan State. Give me MSU. Gonzaga versus the Cuse. I see Gonzaga winning this one in a close one. Very close one. Syracuse. They could be a threat for an upset. I would not be surprised if that happened. They're a talented basketball team. Marquette versus Florida State. Gonna have to go with Florida State. FSU. Buffalo versus Tech. Tech. Florida, Michigan. Rematch of what happened in football. Michigan gets its revenge. Back to the South and the Midwest. I like UVA. Give me Oregon in an upset. Oregon's been playing hot. They're going to continue to be hot. Give me the 12 seed in the Sweet 16. Yeah, you heard me. St. Mary's versus Purdue. Sorry, St. Mary's. Your ride is over. Give me Purdue. Boilermakers. Cincy versus Tennessee. Give me the Rocky Top. North Carolina versus Utah State. UNC. Auburn, Kansas. This is a tough one. Kansas has been inconsistent at times. They just lost in the conference championship, whereas Auburn won the conference championship. So Auburn's been hot. Kansas not. Well, iffy, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna say it. Kansas gets knocked out second round. Auburn, congratulations, you're in the Sweet 16. It might not happen, but you know. Iowa State's been hot. They've been inconsistent this year. It's like they're cold and they lose to like a bunch of teams they should have beat. Then they go and win the Big 12. They're hot right now. Hopefully they stay hot. Give me Iowa State. Wofford, Kentucky. Kentucky, too much talent. Now we're in the Sweet 16. If you can't read the bracket, I don't know if you can. I'm looking at the camera right now. I can't really tell. I'll rewatch this or whatever. Make sure it's fine. But we got Duke versus Virginia Tech. LSU versus Michigan State. Gonzaga versus Florida State. Texas Tech versus Michigan. Virginia versus Oregon. Purdue versus Tennessee. North Carolina versus Auburn. Iowa State versus Kentucky. So here we go. Sweet 16. On to the Elite Eight. Duke in a close one. LSU versus Michigan State. Give me Michigan State. Gonzaga versus Florida State. Give me the Zags. Texas Tech versus Michigan. This is a toss-up. Man, this is a tough one. Michigan just lost. Texas Tech lost to West Virginia. It's hard to pick a team that lost to West Virginia. So I picked in my phone bracket Texas Tech, but I'm changing my mind. Michigan. Other side of the bracket. Sorry, Oregon. Your run is over. UVA. Purdue versus Tennessee. 2 versus 3. Tennessee in a very close one. North Carolina, Auburn. Give me UNC. And then here's the upset. Here's the major upset into the Elite Eight. We got a 1-2. We got a 1-2. We got a 1-2. And we got a 1-6. Iowa freaking State does it. Gets to the Elite Eight. It's a 6 seed. Yeah. You see, it's so hard to pick these big upsets and stuff. Like, you pick a Loyola Chicago to make it to the Final Four because if they lose first round, you look like an idiot. But I'm going with my gut instinct, whatever I feel like is mine. And that's what my gut's telling me. Iowa State. I'm going to look like a genius if this ends up working out. If it doesn't, I'll look like kind of an idiot. But yeah, we'll mark up after the round of 32 how I did by round. We'll mark up my bracket. But yeah, here we go. Elite Eight. Duke versus Michigan State. Gonzaga versus Michigan. UVA versus Tennessee. North Carolina versus Iowa State. I feel like this game could be a good game. But too much talent from Duke with R.J. Barrett, Trey Jones, and the guy ESPN won't shut up about. I am so sorry, but my phone died mid-recording, so you didn't get to see me fill it out. But Gonzaga, UNC, and Tennessee are my other 3 teams in the Final Four. But, yeah. Sorry about that. But that was unfortunate. But here we go. Duke versus Gonzaga, Tennessee versus UNC. Difficult decisions. I got to go with the guys that won round 1. Gonzaga. They won the first time. They showed their ability. They've shown their strengths. Both teams are very talented. But, man, I think Gonzaga is going to knock them out. Duke slipped up sometimes this year. So is Gonzaga, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, Duke, they've got 2 losses to UNC. They got that loss to Syracuse. I mean, I think Duke will slip up. And I think that Gonzaga's got enough talent to hold them off if they make a comeback like they did against Louisville. So Gonzaga knocks off Duke to make it to the championship game. Tennessee, UNC. It's another tough one. Man. Call me crazy. I really want to put UNC in there. They're so good, but Tennessee. Tennessee. I probably spelled that wrong. Where does it say it on this bracket? Tennessee. Oh, I spelled that right. Never mind. Tennessee versus Gonzaga. Championship game. Oh, man. This is a tough one. Tennessee. Rick Barnes. They've beaten teams like Kentucky. I mean, seriously. They've beaten Kentucky. They lost to Auburn in a conference championship, but it's whatever. Let's see. How many teams has Tennessee beaten in this bracket? Off the top of my head, let's see. I'm pretty sure they've beaten LSU. Confirm that for me, comment section. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head or who they beat and stuff. But anyone in the SEC, I'm pretty sure they've beaten Florida. Ole Miss. Kentucky, as I said. They might have played someone preseason in like a tournament or something. Gonzaga, I know they've beaten Duke. They lost to St. Mary's, but I'm pretty sure they beat St. Mary's in the regular season. Other than that, I know they lost to North Carolina. I think they lost to Tennessee. So, yeah. But, tough one. This is a tough one to pick. I'm going to have to go with them. The team from Spokane, Washington, Gonzaga. or the team from Tennessee, Rocky Top Bulldog, Volunteer Bulldog rather, but tough one. This is such a tough one. I'm going to go with a more talented team. Yep. All right, there you go. Final score prediction. I think it'll be a close one. 76-74. Yeah. Gonzaga for the national championship. I wouldn't be surprised if they did lose to Duke. Duke's a very talented team, don't get me wrong, but Gonzaga proved it once. I think they can prove it again that they are better than Duke. And Tennessee, they've had a really good season. I wouldn't be surprised if they went through this bracket, made it to the championship, even won the championship. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. But let me show you the bracket first. Yeah. Here you go. Move all this. Oi. Here you go. I can't really tell if you can see it or not, but there it is. There's that bracket. We'll go through corrections later in this video. Here's my face if you missed it. But yeah, we'll go through corrections in this video later. And yeah, stuff. More stuff. Random collection of Jeff Gordon things. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good night.